Hey guys, this is Jason and today we'll be talking about tennis elbow. Do help us like, subscribe and share for more videos like this and leave a comment if you have any question and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. So basically, tennis elbow, which is known as lateral epicondilitis, is the inflammation that occurs at the tendon of the forearm near the outside of the elbow. This usually leads to pain around that area, which will spread down towards the forearm and even on the wrist, especially when you're performing motion which requires bending of the arm or even twisting of the wrist. Tennis elbow usually occur in individuals who are required to perform continuous repetitive motion which overloads the muscle of the forearm. Such individuals include carpenter, painter, plumber, or even housewife. When the muscles of the forearm are overused and strained, tiny tears will occur around the muscles tendon which attach on the outside of the elbow, and this will eventually lead to inflammation and pain of the area. Tennis elbow usually improve with a proper balance between work and also rest of the elbow, and it is important to not overwork the arm, but it's also important to maintain the function of the elbow to improve the recovery of the elbows itself. Therefore, here are some of the exercises which will be performed by Nabilah that can help you to relieve the pain and in the same time maintain the muscle function of that area.
Thank you, Jason, for explaining further about the condition. Hi, my name is Nabilah Amira. I'm a physiotherapist and also a STOTT Pilates instructor. So today we're going to work on exercises that works on your tennis elbow, which is the outer part of the elbow pain. Okay, are you guys ready? Let's go.
Let's start with our first exercise called ball or towel squeeze and also finger stretch. Starting with sitting upright on a chair with spine and pelvis in neutral, elbow bent about 90 degrees with palm turned facing upwards, holding a squeezable ball. You can also use a towel roll if you don't have any balls. You can also use a pillow to support your forearm and wrist to make sure your body stays upright. If the support is too low, you will start to hunch your body. And if it's too high, you will start to shrug your shoulders. So find a comfortable spot where your body can maintain relaxed and neutral. The exercise is: inhale to stay, exhale to squeeze the ball using your hand and hold for about 3 seconds for 10 repetitions. As you are doing, make sure you are not bending the wrist inwards. Use the other hand to support your wrist, maintaining it in neutral position. This exercise helps to strengthen the intrinsic muscles of your hands, which improve your gripping strength, thus reducing the strain over your forearm. You can also change by turning your palm facing inwards. Same thing here. Make sure you are not bending the wrist inwards, outwards, or even upwards. Keep the wrist neutral at all times. Once you are done, don't forget to do on the other side. Maintaining the same starting position, we are going to do finger stretch with your palm facing upwards. By using rubber bands, place it over your fingers, starting with all fingers closed. Inhale to stay, exhale, open up your fingers, going against the resistance from the rubber band. You're going to repeat for 10 repetitions. Similar to previous exercise, keep your wrist in neutral throughout the exercises. This exercise helps to strengthen the intrinsic muscles over the back of your hand to balance out the strength on both sides. If you want more challenge, you can add up the number of the rubber bands for higher resistance. You can also change the position by turning your palm facing downwards. Beware not to bend your wrist upwards. Pure movement of fingers should be done. Next exercise is called Supinator Strengthening. Supinator is the muscle that helps you to rotate your forearm outwards like you are turning the doorknob. Starting position remains the same. By holding a free weight such as dumbbell, water bottle or food cans with palm facing downwards, the weight depends on each individual. You can start off with lighter weights such as 0.5 kg or 1 pound and progress to heavier weights. The movement is: inhale to stay, exhale to rotate your forearm outwards. Control the movement as you rotate the forearm. Focus more on rotating outwards rather than inwards to get better muscle engagement. You will feel the muscle over the outer side of the elbow working here. Continue for 10 repetitions. Movement comes purely from the forearm and nothing should change from your elbow or your wrist. The two joints remain same position throughout. Strengthening these muscles help to reduce the risk of injury as stronger muscles can support higher force. Don't forget to do the other side before moving on to the next exercise. Let's move on to the next exercises whereby we are going to strengthen the wrist flexors and extensor muscle. Maintaining the same starting position, holding the same weights with palm facing upwards, the hands are off the pillow to allow wrist movements. We are going to start with wrist flexor strengthening. This strengthening focuses more on eccentric strengthening. Use the other hand to fully bend the wrist to start with. Inhale to stay, exhale to release, and slowly allow the weight to bring your wrist downwards following the gravity. Make sure you are controlling the downward movement or the lengthening of the flexors muscle and not allowing any sudden drop of the wrist. You can use the other hand to assist in pulling the wrist back to starting position. You can progress to lifting up the wrist actively. That way, you can get both concentric and eccentric contraction. You should feel the muscles over the front part working as you are controlling the movement. To challenge further, you can always change to heavier weights. Repeat for 10 repetitions for 3 sets. For the opposite muscles, which is wrist extensors, you are going to start off with holding the weights and turning the palm facing downwards. The other hand supporting the wrist. Inhale to stay, exhale to allow the wrist to lower down towards the floor slowly. Same thing here. Control the movement using the muscles over the back forearm and feel the lengthening of this muscle. Repeat this for 10 repetitions before proceeding to the next exercise, and don't forget to do the same for the other side. For all these sitting exercises, you can perform it anywhere and anytime. Once we've done with wrist muscle strengthening, moving on to stretching the muscles. We are going to start with stretching the wrist flexors muscle. Starting in quadruped position, shoulder and hip directly on top of wrist and knee respectively. Inhale to stay, exhale to shift your body forward without changing alignment of your spine and pelvis. You should feel the stretch over the forearm area that's facing your thigh. Hold the position for 50 seconds and repeat for 3 sets. Keep breathing throughout, avoid dropping your head, chest and spine downwards. Once you are done, shift your weight back to the center. Moving on, we are going to do Scapula Isolation, which allows scapula to mobilize and strengthen the scapula stabilizers. Remain in the same position. Inhale to stay, exhale to do a retraction, whereby you want to think of squeezing your shoulder blade together towards the center, and inhale back towards neutral position. Make sure your head does not drop downwards and your spine maintain neutrals. Repeat this for 10 repetitions before doing the opposite action. Once you are done with 10 repetitions, back to neutral position, inhale to stay. Exhale, you're going to do protraction. You want to think of pushing your chest away and inhale back to neutral. When pushing the chest away, you need to imagine you are moving the shoulder blade away from each other. You should not round the spine, keep it neutral. Movement comes from the scapula, not from pushing your hands downwards. Repeat for 10 repetitions and that completes a set. You need to complete 3 sets in total before proceeding to the next exercise. Our last exercise is called thread and needle. Being in the same quadruped position, inhale, you're going to stabilize the shoulder and rotate towards the right side. Exhale, you're going to twist the body downwards and reach your arm across towards the opposite side, allowing the supporting elbow to bend about 90 degrees, and you may allow the shoulder and head to touch the floor. Do not fully rest your head or shoulder on the floor, keep it active at all times. Repeat this for 5 repetitions before changing sides. Keeping the scapula stabilized over the supporting arm, avoid any hyperextending or locking the elbow while rotating and reaching towards the ceiling. Keep your body weight in the center as much as possible. Don't forget to do the other side before moving on to the next exercise. Once you are done, come to cross-sitting position. Lift your hands up aligned with the shoulder. Use one hand to push the opposite hand downwards, giving the stretch over the wrist extensors, which is the muscles over the back forearm. Make sure you are not locking your elbow. Hold there for 15 seconds and repeat for 3 sets. Don't forget to stretch the other side. Good job guys on completing the exercises. Thank you for watching. Feel free to watch the other videos for various workouts.